Hello, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the van. I get asked a lot of questions about travelling with dogs. Travelling with dogs in the winter, or even just walking your dogs in the winter without travelling. They come back absolutely pitted. They're covered in mud, they're wet, it's been raining all day, it's very muddy out there. And that's okay when you can come back and give the dogs a good dry off. But what I would say is when they are covered in mud, it's difficult to get them back inside the van without the van getting up to the eyes. During the winter, when you go out with the dogs and they get muddy and they get wet, you want to be able to clean them off. I've been towel drying them until now. Well, I haven't done anything else yet, but I bought off Amazon today. They're not cheap, they're 45 quid. But if they're going to keep your van clean and mud free, then I think it's worth the money. To me it is anyway, because I've got dogs. If you haven't got dogs, this won't be a problem for you. But that being said, these can be used not only for dogs. You could use these on your muddy boots after a hike, or you could use it on your mountain bike when you get back to the van, you want to wash your bike down. And like I say, if you've winterized your van and you don't have water in the vehicle, then this could be the ideal solution for you. You just fill it up before you go. I'll show you where it is and then you'll know what I'm talking about. This has just arrived. I haven't even opened the bag yet. Okay, it's bright orange, but it does come in different colours. I think it comes in like a luminous green as well, but I got the orange one. This is a Mud Daddy, and that's me in the background. And basically what this is it looks like sort of a 5 litre petrol can, but it has a little plunger here, and this plunger, you know the weed sprayers that you get for your garden where you pump the handle up and it builds up a pressure and it gives you a jet spray? Well, it's the same as that basically. That's what it is. Comes with instructions there, but who reads instructions? Certainly not me. That's why it never works. Right, so we've got the pipe. This being very similar to the one I've got that I can fit to me tap is a sort of a shower head with a trigger there. Do you see that trigger? And what that is there's a brush here on this end, but this is supposed to be a low pressure, just trickle of water that comes through the brush, and then you brush the dog down where it's muddy, and as the water comes out, it washes the mud away. That's the theory. I haven't tried it yet, but like I say, there you go, there's the trigger. And there's a little valve there. I'm not sure what that does. Let's have a look. If I take that off. Oh, there's a spring in there. Right, I don't want to lose that spring, so I'll put that back on, okay? But there you go, that's it, little spring-loaded thing. It comes with a black pipe with a little screw attachment on the end there, and that obviously screws into this bit here. So, right at the bottom here, hopefully you'll be able to see that, there's a little nozzle, and that pushes, the pipe pushes onto that nozzle. But it's quite a tight fit, so I'll have to do that in a minute. There you go. See, it's not too difficult when you can rest it on something. Okay. So there you go. What I've done is I've put the black pipe onto there, onto that connector, and then I haven't even read the instructions, you know. I haven't even read them. Second nature to me, this DIY stuff. And then that little screw screws onto there. You fill this up with water, and if you wanted to, I suppose you could fill it up with warm water, or you could fill it with cold water. Oh, thank you very much. Cup of coffee. Oh, bugger me, that's hot. Right, thanks Julie for that. You'd put the water in here, so you'd screw this off. Okay, that's your little pump there. So, yep. You put the water in. Okay, now this is a 5 litre one, but you can get an 8 litre one. But this is the 5 litre orange. You can get a 5 litre green and you can get an 8 litre one. I'm not sure what colour that is. But, I mean, I just thought a 5 litre is easier to store and it's easier to keep inside the van without taking up too much room. So, you put your water in. You put your pump on, you screw that on, making sure you don't cross thread it like I've just done, and then you'd pump it up there. That obviously, pump it up like that, builds up the water pressure inside, and then you pull that trigger. Really, we need some water to test this with, but I just wanted to introduce you to it now. I'll do a proper test tomorrow when I've had the dogs out for a walk. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out for a walk as normal. They'll be as muddy as they usually are, but I'll take this with me. Whoops. I dropped it there, but I caught it in midair. I'll take this with me, the Mud Daddy, and then I'll take them out in the car. I won't take them in the van, because just in case it doesn't work, I don't want the van up to the eyes. But if it does work, all the better. And when I take them out, I'll get them back to the car and I'll give them a wash down with this before I dry them off with a towel. I mean, you still need a little towel, I think, because they're still going to be wet and retain water, but I think this is going to get most of the mud off them. I'll be back tomorrow for the other part of this video where I'll be testing this out. And now I'm going to relax in the van for 5 minutes because it's lovely and peaceful and quiet in here. Because we've got the grandson with us at the moment, so it's absolute chaos in the house. There's doors slamming, there's dogs running up and down, it's chaos. I'm happy to be out here in the quiet. What I'll do is I'll keep all this packaging nice and neat just in case it's rubbish, because if it's rubbish I'll send it back and I'll tell them it's not fit for its purpose. It's telling you uses and uses, well, one of the uses I said is maybe to wash your walking boots down when you come back, or wash your motorbike down if you've been off-road on a motorbike and you want to wash your motorbike down. Now, I said pedal bikes, and I know that Ian from Fantastic Adventures, and if you haven't seen Fantastic Adventures, go check his channel out. He's got some great content. Him and his wife Caroline and the dog Molly, absolutely winning combination, great team. And I know that Ian does a lot of mountain biking, and I think this might be something that will be handy for him for cleaning these mountain bikes down. Okay, so if you're watching, Ian, have a look at one of these. At least have a look when you've seen the end of the video, not now, because I don't know whether it works or not yet. For washing your dogs down, absolutely great. For washing your pedal bikes, your mountain bikes, absolutely great. And what does it say here? It uses 90% less water. So it's good for the environment as well. 90% less water. It does say what it uses 90% less water than, but unfortunately the writing's so small I can't see what it's 90%. 90% less water than hose pipe. 90% less water than a hose pipe. Environmentally friendly, it says on the packaging. So there you go. Environmentally friendly. There. Look, see? You can't argue with that. Environmentally friendly. You can't argue with that. Okay, so there it is. That's your introduction to it. Tomorrow, I'll test it out real world in real time with 2 muddy dogs. Trust me, they'll be up for the challenge. They're definitely willing participants in this trial, okay? Well, apart from, well, the running in the mud part they're up for anyway. I don't know whether they'll be up for this. But like I say, because it's low pressure and the water sort of just trickles out as you brush, you sort of brush them down like that if you like. This is the dog. My hand's being the dog at the moment, so you just push the trigger and just brush the mud down like that and it washes them down, and then obviously you'll have a little towel just to towel dry the excess water off. I'm going to take this in the house now and we'll trial it out tomorrow. Well, I'm not going to take it in the house now, I'm going to sit and have me cup of coffee. Okay, so thanks for watching so far. Hope you're still with me. I know this doesn't appeal to everybody because not everybody's got dogs, but if you don't have dogs, maybe you've got muddy walking boots. And if you don't have muddy walking boots, maybe you've got a muddy mountain bike. I think it can really appeal to a lot of people, not just dog walkers like me. Whew, I think I'm going to have to turn this heating down now, to be honest with you. Right, that's that heating off. Oh, now, for those of you who are eagle-eyed watchers and who've watched my channel all the time, you might have noticed that my curtain here, my blackout curtain, looks slightly different. And I'll explain. I made a few modifications, but I thought you're probably all sick to death of watching curtain modifications now. But I'm absolutely over the moon with the way this is finished off now. What I did was I thought, Why all this faff on with press studs and stuff like that? I went to B&M Bargains and I got these little silver hooks. You know the ones I mean, where you stick them on and then when you finish with them, you pull the sticky out bit at the bottom and it pulls all the glue out and it leaves no trace. So we've put them along here and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 sticky hooks all the way along, and then I bought some thermal blackout curtains. They were supposed to be thermal blackout curtains, ring top ones, okay? I'll turn you around a little bit so you might be able to see them. There you go. Thermal blackout curtains with ring tops, you see? Now, what I did was, these are a pair of curtains, okay? So what I did was I cut them down, and my original thermal blackout curtain, I took down, because I was going to use these curtains. But when I put these up, I realised they're not completely blackout. They don't stop the light getting through. So when you're on the outside, you could still see somebody was in the back, because it was all lit up this bit. So what I did was, you see? What I did was I used my original thermal blackout curtain and I used the, you know, the iron-on stuff to take up hems and stuff like that, to put a hem in or turn something up. I used that and I put it all the way around the edges, on 4 edges, and I ironed on this black thermal curtain onto the inside of these curtains, and then they just go on the ring tops like that. So that's a pair of curtains. Now the reason why I wanted a pair is because now it means I can open them like that and have a look out, okay? Oop, just as some cars were coming there. And then close them again, you see? So nobody can see I'm in here. There's no light getting out. It keeps the heat in here, which is why I've had to turn the heating off. It's really, really warm in here at the moment. I just thought I'd give you that little update because you haven't seen it. I didn't want to make a video about it because you'd be sick of the sight of my curtains. You can only make curtains sexy for so long, even me. That's a really nice addition for me. I've still left the press studs down the sides here, if you can see over this far. But I've still left the press studs down the side, and what I'll do is I'll press stud that down, and then when I'm finished with the curtains, this one folds back and hooks onto this end hook here, and fastens with a tie back, so it just comes down there at the side like that. And this curtain on this side just unhooks, folds up, and goes in the pocket on the back of the passenger seat. It's not a faff, trust me. It sounds faffy, but it's not. It really is dead simple and dead easy to do and really, really effective. Okay, the heater's turned off there. You can probably hear that now, or you can probably hear me now. This whole video you probably haven't been able to hear a word. So all that's left for me to do now is finish me coffee, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, I'm here at the field. There's plenty of mud. There's plenty of dogs. Let's go give it a try. As you can see here, it's very wet and muddy. But it's good for test purposes. Now, I was going to film with my GoPro down here today, but unfortunately I've brought it here and for some reason the battery's flat. Jug, here. You can see here how muddy he is, if you can. He's a very muddy dog and a very naughty boy. Yes, you're a very naughty boy, you are. These dogs are absolutely up to the eyes with mud, so this is going to be a good test. Lex, leave. Good girl. Okay. You know something? I don't know whether or not this was a good idea, bringing them in the mud. I know that's the whole idea, to test this thing out, but it's an absolute nightmare down here. It's so muddy. Look at him. Look at him in that puddle. Lex. Oh yeah, you think you're funny. One last one and we'll wash you down. You ready? There, over there in the puddle. Hopefully we'll be able to get a bit of washing action going on here. So I'll put my ball chucker in. Now, what I did with this is, before I came out today, I put warm water in here, so I'll just pump it up. Not too much pressure. Okay, come here, Jug. Good boy. He knows, he knows. Come here, Tank. Come here, Stone. Hey, come here. Hey. Come here. Oh, look at the mud just running off this dog. Stay. Stay. I don't know if you can see that, but the mud is just running off. Okay, we're back home now. Unfortunately, the battery ran out on my camera just as I started to wash Tank. But what I can tell you is the Mud Daddy was a huge success. Okay, so as you can see there, she's lovely and clean. I've washed her down with the Mud Daddy. I've rubbed her down with a towel to dry her off, and she came out lovely. And she was always the problem dog because she's got the longest hair, so she's always difficult to clean. Sit, stay. As you can see there, down. Good girl. Good girl. Roll over, roll over. Good girl. So, there it is. And I'll show you. You pump it up with the handle there, and then look at that. Look at that. Hey, that's superb, that, as you can see. I'll just show you that. Look. See that? Look. Superb. So, once I'd finished washing the dogs, I then washed my wellies down. There you go. All right, yes, thank you very much for joining in. Thanks for that demonstration, Lexi. Then just release the pressure on this before you store it. So I'm going to release the pressure, empty the water out, and then put it in the van ready for the next time I go away. Well, I'm going to put it in the car for tomorrow. What did you think of it? He's not impressed. As you saw earlier, I went down to the field, I gave the dogs a run in the muddiest of conditions, and it worked a treat for washing the dogs down. And I think it's going to be a valuable asset for me to take away with me in the van. Now, I still had to towel dry the dogs, and I still got a little bit of muck off them when I towel dried them, to be honest. But I think that's more down to the fact that I didn't wash them off properly. I was in such a strop with myself because my battery went flat on my camera. I was stomping up and down, all annoyed at myself for being an idiot, which I don't know why, because you'd think I'd be used to that by now. Now, my two big dogs will stand still for me to wash them down, and it's absolutely great for that. What I would say is, if you've got a dog that doesn't really like being hosed down, it can be tricky, because you have to hold onto your dog, you have to pump the handle, but that's a difficult thing to do, because when the pressure builds, you can't pump the handle without it moving. So I had to hold the container, the petrol can type container, I had to hold that while I pumped the handle with the other hand, you see? But if you've got a flighty dog or something like that, you may need to put it on a lead and stand on the lead, or tie the dog to something before you start this process. What do I think of the Mud Daddy? I really like it. Okay, it gets a double thumbs up from me. I used it to wash my dogs down. I got most of the mud off them, and I probably would have got all the mud off them if I'd have been a little bit more vigilant. Okay, so that was down to me, not down to the device. I can't see any bad points about it at the moment, but I've only used it once, so I would think the only, well, not a bad point, but the only faff on about it would be filling it up with water before you leave. But I mean, it's only a case of turning the tap on and filling a 5 litre can, so it doesn't really take very long, and it saves you a lot of time when you get back. They were washed down before they went in the car, which is great, because if you've seen my car's absolutely minging inside off carrying these dogs all the time. So that could do with a good clean out as well, to be honest. But for now, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it informative in some way if you were thinking about getting one of these, or you didn't even know about them. I mean, I stumbled across it by accident. But I have watched other people's YouTube videos not necessarily campervan videos, but I've watched other people like dog walkers and people like that, and I watched their videos first before I ordered one, because I wanted to make sure it was right for me, and I wanted to make sure it worked, and I wanted to see if there was any bad reviews, and I haven't seen a bad review for them, to be honest. So if you're thinking about getting one, or now you've seen it, you think it's a good idea, then get yourself on Amazon, get yourself one. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. There's nothing more for me to say apart from thank you very much for watching. And if you're watching this, Beth, I'll just show you here my curtains. I know you like the curtains, and you want to see how soft that is. It's legendary softness on the inside of that curtain. Okay, and if you don't know who I'm talking about, people who watch my channel, if you don't know who I'm talking about Beth from the Hills on Tour. So if you don't know their channel, go check it out. That's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.